Welcome to Distribution Talk with Jason Bader, the show where we dive into the stories, struggles, and solutions from business owners and thought leaders in the wholesale distribution market. Hey friends, Jason here. In this episode, I had the opportunity to speak with John Long. He's the CEO of THYNK AI, and that's THYNK, and he will explain the interesting spelling in our discussion. But it was fascinating talking to John. And yes, I've been doing a lot of AI stuff over the last several months. But it's so omnipresent. I mean, it's so in our lives right now. And I hardly have a conversation on a daily basis without someone bringing up the potential of AI, how do I use AI, and all of those things. So I invited John on the show to talk a little bit about what they're doing and really dive into what their AI agents do. And I took the opportunity at his invitation to speak with their AI agent. So I literally clicked on the, speak with our AI agent, and I got a phone call from Eric, their AI agent, and kind of went through a demo process. And even though there was a little hesitation, the agent understood what I was asking, was able to contextualize the conversation, do a role play with me. And I thought, wow, we're getting there. This is getting really, really close here. In the episode, we talk a little bit about some of the applications that I see this kind of product work best in. But anyway, it was a pleasure speaking with John, and I really like what they're doing and just really the smaller applications that they're looking to take on. So I hope you enjoy this episode. This episode is brought to you by Connected Peers, an online peer collaboration platform for distribution professionals. Let's face it, most managers don't have the opportunity to speak with their industry peers about common challenges in their departments. Sure, they might see each other at an annual conference, but that hardly provides any real relationship building or continuity. What if there was a forum to solve challenges with those in your same role? Well, now there is. The concept is simple. Purchasing managers meeting with purchasing managers, training managers meeting with training managers, marketing managers meeting with marketing managers. You get the idea. There are 10 unique role-based communities to choose from. These are monthly, facilitated meetings all via Zoom. Ask questions and receive feedback from people who understand the challenges of your position. Isn't it time that you quit going it alone? To learn more and find your peers, visit us at www.connectedpeers.com. Well, hey, John, thanks for coming on to Distribution Talk. Very interested to hear what you have to say today.
Jason, thank you. Thank you for having me on. And I'm excited to visit with you and visit with your listeners and share a little bit about what we're doing in the world of AI and how it might impact what you and your listeners are doing.
Fantastic, man. Yeah, definitely something that I am highly interested in, kind of a passion for me, one of those aha moments and completely in awe every time I get into an AI subject. So it's been kind of a fun couple of years for me, for sure.
I'm sure.
If you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about your background, what drew you in, and kind of why are you so heavily involved with this world?
Yeah, I have kind of an interesting background, I guess. First of all, I started early in my career as an entrepreneur, doing work in the real estate and then in the construction worlds, owned an HVAC company for a little while. And then about 15 years ago, got into technology and have had an amazing last 15-year career in the world of technology. And that has taken me through small businesses, large businesses, enterprise, worked with a technology company focused on physical security. So I've done quite a bit of work in the distribution world in that regard. But got into AI initially about 6 years ago, I guess.
Okay.
So a long time ago in the world of AI.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Right?
In the realm of AI, that is a long time. You're an early adopter for sure.
Yeah. I was working with a company and we were using what's called machine learning. It's a type of AI. Sure. And we were flying airplanes over cities, taking high resolution images, and then using computers to create these 3D models of buildings. And it was pretty cool. Within a few seconds, we could build a 3D model of a building that was accurate to within an inch or two. And so started to see the world of AI a little bit at that point. but it didn't really hit me. I didn't have my aha moment like
Yeah.
you described until about 2 years ago when I realized, oh my goodness, AI can do my job. AI can do a lot of things, not just design 3D buildings, right? I was in the sales role and I thought, oh, I'm safe. I'm the guy that talks to the people. And so I'm safe. Nothing's going to displace me. And I realized like, oh, AI is better at my job than I am at my job.
Yeah.
And so it was an interesting realization. That's not how I necessarily ended up where I'm at. I'll share that story real quickly with you. My business partner and I, we were starting a new business. This was about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was in that physical security technology space still. And as we were starting to ramp that business up, I said, gosh, we either need someone or something that can help us with the pre-sales, the SDR, sales development representative type of work, the prospecting, the nurturing, the lead qualifying and scheduling type of aspects, right? And I said, I think AI could do it. And I was like, let's see if we can find a tool that we can either buy or license and see if AI can actually do this part of the workflow. And so we went on a search and we searched for, oh gosh, maybe 10 months or so, 8 months. And we found bits and pieces, right? It could make phone calls. It could send text. It could do this. It could do that, but it couldn't do like the whole thing.
Right.
And so we eventually gave up and said, well, it doesn't exist. If we wanted something like that, we're going to have to build it. Right. And my business partner is a product guy. He's been in product development for years and years, spent 20 years developing software and technology. And he was like, I think we could build it. And so we dug in and started building this tool. Long story short, we built this tool and we built it for our business. And we quickly realized this thing that we built, it might have longer legs than the business does. Maybe we should pay a little bit of attention to this.
Sure. Yeah.
And long story short, hard pivot into AI. And that's what we've been doing now full time for about a year and having great success helping automate all sorts of things for businesses, but generally in the customer communication space, right? Pre-sales, post-sales, but customer communication.
So interesting you talk about business development. I think that is an aspect that so many companies feel like they need to invest in that person, the one who will go out and the door kicker. And I think that's one of the areas that they kind of know they should be doing that, going out and opening doors. But boy, they would much rather have something else do it for them. Live bodies don't always love to do that. I mean, that's just not always the favorite thing of salespeople, is prospecting. That is not something that they enjoy doing.
No, I've been in sales a long time. I've known a lot of sales reps. No sales rep ever said, I just love to prospect. That's all. Right. I don't really like the selling aspect. I just want to prospect all day. I want to make 100 phone calls and have people tell me no over and over and over again. Right. No, that doesn't exist. Right.
That is a unicorn. If you find one, you capture that.
Yeah. It's like the kid that says, I just love cleaning my room every day. Right. That's what I want to do. Right.
Right. Absolutely. Well, interesting. Yeah. And actually, I kind of thought back, and you had said you were briefly in that HVAC business, in the contracting business. And I imagine, in that business, I mean, you could have really used something like this to go and knock down doors.
Yes. I actually got out of that business because I didn't have our technology.
Yes.
Our business was big enough that we were busy, but small enough that at night when we closed the office down, the calls got forwarded to me. Right. And so it was nonstop. I felt like I never had a break because I would go home, I'd be eating dinner with my family, middle of a conversation, phone would ring. And generally at that time, it's either a customer calling with a concern. And I'm thinking, I don't want someone's pipes to freeze tonight. I better answer the phone. Right. Or it was a potential prospect, which means it was money. Money on the line, the next opportunity. And, if you were going to replace their furnace and air conditioning system, that was, several $1,000s paycheck. And so I was like, sorry, guys, I got to answer the phone. Right. And so business interrupted life all the time for me. And we believe that life shouldn't be interrupted by business and people should be doing better work, not busy work. And so those are some of our key fundamental philosophies at Thynk and why we do what we do to help people focus on doing better with their time.
One of the things that you and I have talked about briefly was, people kind of learning, first of all, what AI is and what it can do for me. So if you could just let's talk about that, that learning process or that transformation process really is what it is.
Yeah. So the first thing that I think is important is to recognize and understand that when we talk about AI, we throw it out as if it is a thing,
Right.
right? We talk
Right.
about like, oh, I'm going to get AI.
Yes.
The reality is that the term AI, artificial intelligence, refers to quite literally millions of different things. And so it's a little tricky to just group them all together and assume
Sure.
that they all act the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in general, when we talk about AI, what we're talking about is using computers or machines to do tasks that typically have been done by humans,
Mm-hmm.
automating and processing things automatically. And so when we talk about AI adoption,
Mm-hmm.
the trend that I see most often is this. People will test some sort of AI. Usually it's ChatGPT because they're the
Sure.
most well known,
Yeah.
but it could be a lot of other things. It could
Right.
be Gemini or Grok or one of a bunch of other things.
For sure.
And when they test it, usually the first thing that they do is ask it to do something that's totally inconsequential, right? Tell me
Right.
a joke, or what was the score to the game last
Write me
night?
a
Or,
poem,
write me
about
a
this.
poem.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
right? Something that like they're just kind of like poking it a little bit, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to touch this, but well, I'll
Right.
touch it a little bit, right?
Sure.
And so they poke it a little bit and it produces something and they kind of go, oh, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they play with it again. And then it usually is like, well, I want to show my wife, hey, sweetie, get in here. Look at
Yeah.
this. Right.
For sure. For sure.
But they start to kind of play with it a little bit for inconsequential things. And then, a few days later, they're writing an email or they're doing something and they're like, wonder if AI could help me with this. And so they test it, right? Can you write an email about this? Can you write an email to my kid's teacher at school letting them know I'm upset with the way that they graded their test or whatever, right?
Right.
And it does a pretty good job again. And what happens is it slowly starts to kind of creep into their life a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not part of their like system,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like life is here. And every once in a while I pull off the road and I do a little bit with AI and then I pull back on the road again, right?
Interesting. Yeah.
And so we tend to see that adoption comes in kind of this exponential curve where it's being used more and more and it's being used for more and more important things. But it's not until they really get to the point where they're like, I need this in my
Mm-hmm.
process. I need this in my system. That's when they start to pull in and really integrate it into their life. Otherwise, it's kind of this rest stop on the way to wherever they're going. And so that's the process that we typically see. And it's important to also recognize that, again, there's a million different things that are all AI.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people
Mm-hmm.
there's 3 buckets of AI. There's bucket number 1, which is like the party trick, kind of gimmicky sorts of AI, like, take a picture of your dog and I can make it talk, right? Or,
Right.
Something weird like that. And you're like, that's
Sure.
cool, but I have no idea how I would ever use that in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. What would you do with that?
The third bucket, the other end of the spectrum, is AI that is so detailed, so niche that I'm never going to use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to personally, I might use it when I'm driving my car, but I'm never going to like use self-driving AI technology in what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, right? I don't need to know that side of it either.
Sure.
So really what we're looking at is kind of this middle of the road AI technology, and it's AI that is useful, usable, and easy to understand and get our hands on, right? And that can bridge a little bit of a spectrum as well, where it's things like ChatGPT, where you log in, give it a little something, and then it gives you something back. And then it can ramp up to more specific things for your
Mm-hmm.
work. And then eventually that gets integrated where it actually is pulled right into what we're doing. The next phase, you didn't ask me this question, but I'll tell you the next phase, what's coming next, and it's coming faster than we think, is where rather than us defining the system and pulling AI in,
Mm-hmm.
we go to AI and say, write the whole system.
Got it.
Give me the A to Z, right? Instead of being part B and part N in my A to Z system, write the entire system, figure out how to do it. I want to give you A and I want to give you Z, and you figure out all the rest. And we're
Yeah.
doing that to a certain degree with some of our AI on a conversational basis, but that will come to the point where businesses are literally entirely run based off of processes that AI develop. We're not there quite yet, but it's coming.
This episode of Distribution Talk is sponsored by NSQL Distribution Software. NSQL is a fully functional distribution-based software package. I say distribution-based because that's important. Many alternatives out there say they do distribution, but they really aren't very good at it. They're generally watered-down manufacturing packages with a few distribution features tacked on. I only recommend software packages that were purpose-built to serve distribution. And these folks do it very well at a price point many smaller distributors can afford. If you're ready to step up to a fully loaded, scalable distribution package at an affordable price, look no further than NSQL Distribution Software at www.nsql.com. That's INXSQL.com. Yeah, I think to your point that when people begin to adopt this and see the potential, then, their thinking changes.
Yeah.
The way that they approach problems will change.
So that's actually what inspired the name of our company, THYNK AI. Spelled with a Y because we think differently, right? THYNK AI.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, all right.
But yeah, you literally go through a change in the way you approach things. I've got to imagine it's a bit of the same change that people went through and they were like, learning about cars for the first time. Like, I don't know, I'm used to riding a horse,
right?
And you're telling me that I can get in this little buggy and it'll take me places. I don't know. And then once they experience that a couple of times, they're like, I don't have to feed it. I don't have to clean up after it. I don't have to do all these things. It'll just drive me places. Wow. Right. But we literally start to approach life differently as we understand and use AI more. Your first thought tends to go, I wonder if AI could help me with this. Right. And we change the way that we do things. When we were talking before the show, I shared a story with you that to me encapsulates what's happening in the world right now. And the story is this: if you were sitting in a restaurant, you're sitting by the window, and you hear this bzz, thump, 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 right? And you look around, and you realize there is a fly desperately trying to escape that restaurant by smashing its way through the window, right? And we've all seen this. So bam, bam, that fly just going and going and going, right? It does not matter how far back the fly backs up and how fast it flies at the window. It is never going to break its way through the window. It will die on the windowsill, stuck inside that restaurant, right?
Right.
And yet a few feet away, there's an open door. And all the fly has to do is think differently, right? And realize there's a different path for me to take. And I could be outside in seconds and have the entire world to myself. But instead, it keeps pounding its head on the glass thinking, eventually I'm going to get there. I'm going to break through this window.
Through. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what happens as we start to use AI is suddenly we realize, there's a door in life that I didn't know existed. Yeah. And all of a sudden I have access to a world that I never thought I would have access to.
Yeah.
And that realization changes the way we do things. It changes the way we live. It changes businesses. And it's very exciting and a little bit scary.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. No, I mean, you look at that clear panel and you're thinking, that's where I'm supposed to go. I am supposed to go through that, but I keep banging my head on this. And if I would look just a little bit left, a little bit right, or maybe up or down, there is an opportunity there. There is a way around this problem or this barrier, whatever that barrier may be. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So, one of the big things is, I think the barrier for that matter is that fear of getting replaced, by and even though, even you said it yourself, when you were a salesperson, you said, this can do my job better than me. So there is a lot of fear associated with this. And actually it's funny, when you were mentioning when you first tried, ChatGPT, that was honestly one of the first things I did is, I literally asked it questions that I would get from consulting clients.
Sure.
I'm like, all right, well, what do you think it would do? And
how
the answers were pretty damn good, and that was a little scary. It's like,
That's when you're like, I'm not going to tell my clients about this one.
Yes, I bet the writing's, I see the writing on the wall. I'm like, okay. So this is coming, and I better figure out what this is, before, before, my clients do say, you know what, maybe we should go this way instead.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because a lot of people have that fear,
Yeah.
right? They're worried about AI. They're worried about what it's going to do to them, what it's going to do to their business. And I think there's a couple of things that are healthy for us to remember and to realize as we're looking at it. Number one, AI is a tool.
Yes.
Right? It is a tool. And we need to look at it as a tool, right? It's a powerful tool. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a reason my dad didn't let a 12-year-old son use the power saw, right? I was still cutting wood with the handsaw, right? Because it was a powerful tool.
Yeah.
And so, number one, it is a tool. And the better we understand the tool, the better we will be able to use the tool, right?
Yeah.
And so we need to learn it. We need to understand it. And it's coming. It's here. It's not going away.
Right.
Right.
Right. Not a passing fad.
No, this is not something that's going to be like, oh, do you remember back in 2025 when AI was like all the rage?
Right.
Whatever happened to AI?
Yeah.
Right. It's not going away. And if anything, it's being forced upon us.
Mm-hmm.
Literally cell phones have AI baked into them. Our email is now having AI baked into it. And it's just like, it's here, right?
Yes.
It's here with us. And so number one, it is going to be here. It is going to be used. And AI very quickly will be like a cell phone or like the internet or like electricity, right?
Sure.
One of our employees, they're doing some work in her neighborhood and they had to turn the electricity off to like 10 houses for a little while.
Yeah.
And she was like, you guys, I don't know what to do. we have no electricity. What do we do? Right?
Yeah, sure.
And it's going to be like that with AI very soon, where if AI got turned off, we'd be like, shoot, how do we operate?
Right. What do we do?
We don't
here?
have our AI.
Oh yeah.
It's coming. It's here, and it's going to be used. And so it's the faster that we can learn it, understand it, and then start to employ it, the better off we're going to be. And my philosophy is that AI should be a sidekick. Okay. Your people, you, right? Me, we have some domain expertise, some knowledge, some background, some understanding, some wisdom that, even the very best AI is not going to be able to completely replace that true human experience.
Right.
And so what we teach our customers is to treat AI like an Iron Man suit and treat your employees like Tony Stark. Right? Tony Stark, if he were to go to battle by himself, he's going to lose. He's just a man, right? No special superpowers or anything like that. But he's smart. Yeah. He's got some skills. He's got, some great abilities. But man, when you combine him with his Iron Man suit, all of a sudden he's a superhero.
Right. Right.
And that's the approach that you should take, is turn your employees into superheroes by giving them this AI Iron Man suit to put on. And it allows them to remove all of the drudgery, the things that they hate about their job, and push that to AI, focus on the things that give them energy, passion, excitement, right? The things that they love doing. They're going to work at an elevated level for you. They're going to outperform and outdeliver what they've been able to do in the past because they've gotten rid of the parts of their job that they hate and they're focusing on the parts of their job that they love, and turn them into output producers like you've never seen before.
Right. No, absolutely. It makes perfect sense. And, again, going back to that original thought around that lead generation and, the new business development people and things like that, this is a task that most people did not like to do or don't like to do. This is a perfect scenario for applying AI because AI doesn't care. It is not, it doesn't get offended, upset, or does not have a preference one way or the other. It's, what do you want me to do? Yep. And I think that's a perfect area.
So we love to start there with our customers. And it's interesting. If you look at the statistics, the average sales rep will call an account 2 to 4 times. And if they don't get a response, they're like, well, that one's dead. Move on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The average prospect needs to have 7 to 12 touch points before they're ready to do business. So there's this gap, right? And it's like this dead zone. And so there's all of these leads that businesses have that are piled in the corner somewhere that the sales reps say are dead. The customers are still interested, but they haven't been contacted enough times. And they're just kind of collecting dust. And so we'll go to customers and say, look, this is new tech. We understand that there's a little bit of nervousness around it. Give
Mm-hmm.
us your old dead leads. Give us your old dead leads and let us feed them into our AI
Right.
agent that we built for your company. And let's let your agent reach out to them and see what happens. And it's so fun because we turn this on and all of a sudden they go, we just got a lead. We got a sale. We got a, whatever the output is, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, we had a customer the other day. This is fun. This one,
Right.
we were going after a market that they haven't really gone after. So not quite the same scenario, but this is a really fun example. So we're doing all this testing, getting their agent ready. And it takes us a couple of weeks to really dial these agents in, and they're good. Anyway, we had just finished our testing and they gave us the thumbs up. And then we got a call from them a couple of hours later and they said, hey, we thought we were done doing testing. And we said, yeah, we are. And they said, well, how come we keep getting orders in? And we said, well, we turned the agent on live. It's doing its job. Like, oh, those are real orders. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Those are real. Yeah. We got it. You mean we said, fulfill
yeah,
those.
you need to fulfill those. Those are not test orders. Like those, you need to go and fulfill those.
That is funny.
And it was so fun because they literally thought we were just running tests through and it was the agent doing its job. Yeah, right. And they did not expect it to work. They did not expect it to work that quickly, certainly. And it was almost instantaneous as soon as we turned it on. Success.
And John, how was the contact? Was it email? Was it SMS? Was it voice?
So that particular one it was a mixture of voice, text, and email, which is what we typically do.
Okay.
Yeah. So our agents can call, they can text, they can email. They're pretty amazing. They can hold meetings. We literally will give them meeting, kind of agendas, and it can hold the entire meeting and then qualify people during the meeting. And if they meet whatever qualification level you want, then it'll schedule a meeting with a live person. Mm-hmm. So they're pretty amazing in what they can do. But generally it's a mixture of communication methods.
Well, in fact, you and I had talked about this, and I plan to go and have a little conversation with your AI agent to see how this goes. I'm really fascinated by this, and that'll be pretty neat. But no, I think that's a perfect example. This is something I've been evangelizing and really believing that AI is capable of. One of the things that I think I've shared with you before is a problem in distribution is, dead customers. I mean, customers that are dormant customers, I think, not completely dead, just dormant. They haven't done business in 12 months. They have an open account. Their credit is good with us. For one reason or another, they just don't, they haven't called in. And nobody's called them either. So, I mean, for me at least, I think that is a perfect application for what you just described.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. That office, maybe they work with 3 or 4 different distributors, right? And perhaps the person that had your phone number went out on maternity leave, or they, for whatever reason, it got shuffled to the bottom of the stack. And it's not that they didn't like you. It's not that they didn't want to do business with you. It's that they've been doing business with other people. And all it will take is a little phone call and say, hey, remember, we've done some work together in the past. Are you interested in doing some work together again? And yet it's so funny because that's like that open door, but yet we continue to bash our head against the glass.
Right.
And we're like, I'm not making that phone call. Right. Our sales rep's like, I'm not going to call them. They're dead. They're not interested.
Right.
We don't even know. We haven't talked to them in months. Right. Maybe they hate the person they've been doing business with. They lost your phone number. And if you just simply called them, they'd be like, oh, thank you. You just saved us.
Yeah.
And so, there's a great opportunity for people there to resurrect those old relationships. Those are the easiest ones, frankly.
It is. I mean, I think it's that low-hanging fruit. Everybody's asked, how can I increase revenue? I'm going to tell you how to increase your revenue. Go after your dormant accounts.
Yeah.
And yes,
people you've done business with before.
Yeah. Some of them have gone out of business, and that's great. Clean them off the books, be done with them. But there's going to be a huge chunk of those that really want to do business with you. They just haven't been touched. They have not had contact.
And depending on the contact, obviously, if you're reaching out via email and that business has gone out of business, maybe you don't have contact with them anymore. But if you've got a cell phone and you text them or call them, maybe they've moved to a different location, different business. And they go, oh, yeah, I remember working with you guys at my old job. Hey, we could use you here. And all of a sudden now you've picked up a brand new customer. And so you never know what a little bit of outreach will do. But even still, people don't like doing that. I was listening to someone yesterday, and I asked him something about making a phone call, and he's like, oh, I don't like to make phone calls.
Yeah.
Like, that is so true of so many people. We have turned into this society that hesitates to make phone calls.
Yes.
And so, having a tool that can do that, fantastic. Let it do the
Right.
job that you don't love doing, and you focus on the parts of the job that bring you the passion, the energy, the excitement that you love doing.
John, it's so funny. I work with different distribution companies, and I remember working on inside sales, and these folks will take in 40 and 50 phone calls from customers on a daily basis, and asking them to make 6 outbound calls to maybe this dormant list never happens. They didn't
No.
want to go the other direction. I mean, and for whatever reason, I'm not going to go in and psychoanalyze them in this case, but great. Now I have a tool I can do that, go out and have that proactive approach to resurrecting some of that. So no, this is a fascinating new area.
Yeah. Fill that gap, right?
Right.
We gave up on them too early. The customers not quite ready to commit. Fill that gap with AI. And the beautiful part about it is it works 24/7. The first call is just as good as the last call and vice versa, right?
Right.
It can be told no, it can be screamed at, it can be sworn at, it can be, it can be told that the baby is ugly, and it doesn't care. The next call, it's got a smile back on its face.
It's ready to go. Yeah.
Are you ready to do business with us?
Yeah,
I'm ready,
totally.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like that perfect employee, right? The person that walks in every day just happy as can be. Hey, I'm ready to go.
Yep.
And so, and it actually is, I'll share one other quick little thing that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So we have a customer that's based in New York.
Yeah.
And we were setting up an agent for them, and they're in New York City. And, people know that New Yorkers are tough people, right? They're used to kind of having to elbow their way in to get their way and stuff. And so they called us and said, hey, we really like the tone of voice that we're using for this agent, but it's just not New Yorker enough.
Right. Yeah.
And so we went in and we changed the prompt a little bit and literally changed the personality of the agent, make it a little bit more New Yorker style.
Yes.
Sent it to him and said, what do you think of this? And they're like, perfect. That's exactly what we needed.
That's what we need. Yep.
And so you can literally dial these things in exactly the way you want and have it be exactly the delivery that you want to your customers, representing the business perfectly. It's amazing what the technology can do.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, one thing I wanted to touch on before we wrap up is like costs to integrate, and I think there's this perception that what you're sharing and what's possible and whatnot, that it is a really big leap from cost standpoint, especially for companies that, maybe do anywhere from, 20 to 50 million in revenue, or maybe even, up to 100. But there's a perception that it's only for the big kids, for the multi-million-dollar organizations, where I don't know if that's the case any longer.
No, it used to be, because you used to have a computer the size of a New York City skyscraper to run AI, right?
Sure.
Not anymore. Now it's accessible to everyone. Costs have come down dramatically. The cost of an AI agent like we provide, a fraction of what you're going to pay for a new employee. And we like to tell people again, give that employee that superhuman suit, that Iron Man suit. Let them produce 2 or 3 or 5 times what they were producing before by pairing a technology partner with them at a fraction of the cost of an additional person. It's a major cost savings when you look at what you're shifting to the AI and which tasks you're shifting to them. And then it's a major revenue booster as well because of the outputs that it's able to produce on the revenue generation side.
Interesting. No, that's fantastic. I mean, and kind of a 2x4 to the back of my head, just an epiphany just occurred. So years ago, I was hired by a firm up in Canada, a Canadian firm, small company. And in order to bring me in, and he was also, taking on a new ERP and some other things, he had applied for a technology grant in the province of BC, British Columbia. Yeah. So part of me is even thinking, I wonder if there are technology grants that could get me in the door for smaller companies,
Yeah.
And I think I have a new research project, John.
Yeah.
I think that's my new research.
I think we need to trade notes on that.
I know.
I'll do a little bit of a research project on that as well. And I'm sure there are some great opportunities there.
Yeah. So I think you're right. I mean, I think that definitely. But, I think one of the other parts of this, though, is it's not only the acquisition cost up front of AI being a fraction of a new employee, but the return on investment is so darn quick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It pays for itself in the first month.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It's amazing. It is such a fast ROI and it's quick to implement.
Yeah.
For us, it's a done for you system. And so within a couple of weeks of us getting started, you've got an AI agent and it's starting to produce on day one. Like I mentioned, hey, are you guys still putting test orders in? No, those are real.
Those
it's
are
only
real
been up
orders.
for an
Yeah.
hour. That's right.
Yeah.
It's working. It's doing
Yes.
what we thought it would do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can really have a great ROI.
Well, yeah. And I think, talk to you about, if you think about like barcode scanning is kind of one of those things that distributors really invest in. And, people were very on the fence with this thing. But you're also looking at a very long return on investment, for some of these. I mean, it could take 18 months, could take 2 years to get a return on investment here. With these AI agents you're talking about, as you said, a month, maybe 2, maybe 3 at the outside, but it's a very quick return on investment. And then after that, it's just gravy. That is just, you are making money on this deal.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
So, John, how can someone get a hold of you and your company?
Yeah, so visit our website. It's Thynk, THYNK.ai. So it's not a .com, it's a .ai.
Yeah.
Thynk.ai. And when they go, they'll see there's a button that they can click on, and it'll actually give them a chance to interact with our AI agent, one of our AI agents. His name is Eric.
Yes.
And it's actually really fun. When they reach out to Eric, he'll call them, and then he'll actually do a role play with you, where he'll ask you just a question or two about your business. And then he'll say, all right, let me play the role of your business and you play the role of one of your customers. And let's chat. Let me show you how I can represent your company. Mm-hmm. And he'll do a great job with that and show you what it might sound like to have an AI agent represent you. Reach out and Eric will take care of you.
Oh, that's fantastic. No, I think that's really fascinating. I think that whole voice side is really kind of the next horizon, that it's pretty exciting stuff. So all of this will go in the show notes, how to get a hold of you. But anyway, hey, John, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you for coming on, sharing what you all are up to and, talking through some of these little areas with me.
Jason, thank you. Sure appreciate the opportunity and hope your listeners enjoyed. And hopefully we can talk to you again sometime soon.
Perfect. Thanks again. Thank you for listening. If you liked what you heard, consider sharing with your friends and colleagues. And don't forget to follow the show on your favorite podcast application. Links to sponsors, products, and services mentioned during this episode can be found in the show description area or at www.distributiontalk.com. Distribution Talk is edited and mixed by the brilliant team at the Creative Impostor Studios. This episode was brought to you by my company, the Distribution Team. We are a consulting services firm dedicated to helping wholesale distribution clients remove barriers to profitability, generate wealth, and achieve personal goals. To learn more about how we can help your company succeed, check us out at www.thedistributionteam.com.